Marshy, but you have considered that if a card beats me, it's a viral card. That is not fun. That's true, yes, actually. Every card that beats you should be banned.
Trust me.
Do you have a golden sticky finger? I think so. Hi Marshy, I hope your day is going well. It's alright so far. I hope yours is. Blurbs. If you reach the 7th turn against aggro, you get to win with any other card. Villain is not broken. I mean, I wouldn't put it quite like that, but I guess I agree.
Balance in all things.
I miss people just going, that's stupid, lol, rather than grandstanding and denouncing stuff. Yeah, I was thinking like, I've kind of started to go back down my, I used to be much more against nerfs than I am today, or have been since you guys have known me. I used to be way more against it, and I've kind of gone back on that lately. I still think, I do think I've been kind of consistent. Not kind of, but pretty consistent. Like, I only ever want things nerfed that need nerfing. I never want something nerfed, you know, just because I don't like it. Like if something is common and frustrating and there's not a lot you can do to reasonably interact with it outside of abandoning a core like archetype, then I want it to be nerfed. And by core archetype I mean like, you know, control combo aggro, right? Like if you have to give up control entirely to interact with a deck, and that deck is common, then I want it to be nerfed. Like, I think it should be nerfed. Forgot that this card existed. Are they gonna have 4-cost stuff? I guess they'll have a Jade thing that's 4-cost, sure. But yeah, it's gotten to the point where like, I think like I was talking to a lot of people who don't have as high of a standard as I do in that regard. And so like amidst all that discussion, I feel like my bar got lowered and lowered and lowered, but also, you know, they were very willing to change stuff, right? Like they, at least for standard, they were nerfing things a lot of the time. So it just kind of felt like, you know, stuff gets nerfed. If there's a problem, the way to deal with it is don't nerf it. So I don't know. I get like I'm trying to describe like there was a Hearthstone culture element for me at the time that caused me to adjust my standards in a way that don't really reflect how I actually want things to be done. Well, poop. I guess it's trade here, this goes face. But yeah, I think that like the over nerfing after like high legend queue times, after that, you know, high legend queue times and non-standard mode queue times, after those complaints for me, my secondary, I think, frustration with Hearthstone is everything gets nerfed all the time. Like you can't get attached to anything. Like I get attached to decks, and that's like part of why I stick with card games so much, is like I fall in love with decks, and that's where my enthusiasm comes from. But I can never fall in love with anything in Hearthstone. It just like, if a deck is good, it gets deleted. Not like, you know, some survive. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but very likely if a deck is good, not if it's broken, if it's good, it's gonna get deleted. So like there's nothing to like hold on to. There's nothing to like get invested in and cherish in the way that I'm used to with these things. So There's that. What am I doing other than playing this turn? I could coin out Malagos next turn if I wanted to. Maybe I will. Martian is fair and balanced. Hello, Marchi. What is your favorite hero portrait for each class? Emo Arana for Demon Hunter, although the 1K is a pretty close second. Cthulhu for Druid. I skipped Death Knight. I think, like, it's either base Lich King or it's the new Bolvar. I actually like that Bolvar. Oh, this is better than what I was gonna do. Do I want to tap or do I want to shoot this with this? I guess I want to tap. Nathria Battle Pass Sylvanas for Hunter. Festival Jaina for Mage. Oh, the Fire Festival Liadrin for... what you call it? Is this... oh, I could steal something. I think I'm going to do this, though, unless this is lethal. So this is 9 and 8. Seems like lethal to me. It does seem like lethal to me, chat. Not going to lie. For Priest, the Prince Anduin. For Rogue, the Dao Chen. For Shaman, I guess Frog Prince Thrall, but that, like, I like a lot of Shaman skins. And for Warlock, probably, I mean, I like the mechanical Gul'dan. I think that one's cool. Base, like 1K or like 500 Warrior, the Fiery Warrior, and that's all of them, right? What character from WoW would you like to see in Hearthstone as a portrait or having its own card? They already did most of the ones that I wanted. They haven't come out with a variant that I like yet. Like, I'm also, like, detached from my fandom at this point. I don't really, you know, like, WoW and Hearthstone have both done things that make me less, you know, the like is still there, but the love is kind of gone. So, I'm not really excited about any WoW characters that aren't in already. I've always wanted a Parvink warrior portrait. Parvink was just like, it was such an honest little card. It was best translation would be Taunt. It was basically 3 mana for 2/2 Battlecry draw card, and it had Taunt. Attacking worked differently in well, it was Taunt, wasn't it? I don't think it worked like Magic. Man, it's been a long time since I've played WoW TCG. Anyways, I think it had what was functionally Taunt. It was called Protector. And I think you could attack specific things like you can in Hearthstone. And it didn't work like you were attacking and then you would have blockers. Yeah. Okay. So that's definitely how, yeah, it was a 3 for 2/2 draw card Taunt. And I threw it in everything because it was just really solid. But, you know, Parvink was really cool. And then they came out with another one, Weeble, which was like a double Parvink. It was, I believe, 6 mana for twice the stats, twice the cards. It was just another Parvink. But anyways, like, she was a funny gnome with the pigtails and pink hair and a sword looking very action posy. And that was back when, you know, goofy things were like sprinkled here and there instead of the mainstay. So they were still fun to me. See, I really liked Parvink, and I've always wanted a Parvink warrior portrait for that reason. But She did actually end up in World of Warcraft eventually. She was an NPC in Legion. There was a camp that she was sitting in. What about an all-class Cho portrait? I never want another all-class portrait again. And having all of my opponents turn into Reno Lone Ranger has been such a bummer in my opinion. Tap Hellfire, right? I do have to kill my opponent before a certain point. So there's that. So they're just gonna eat me with the Murlocs. Have we not received a Murd in Bronzebeard after all these years? That's true, yeah. It's a little interesting. You'd think we'd have that by now. The thing about Thorsoning here is I don't really have anything in my hands worth Thorsoning. So I feel like I should play this Molten Giant. If Sargeras is an all-powerful Titan, why is he missing an eye? Are they all-powerful? That wasn't really my understanding. B and I are watching the stream. Oh, that's my mom. Hi, Mom. Hey, Marshy, are you enjoying Hearthstone now? How's work going? You know, it's all right. I like streaming Hearthstone is fun. Hearthstone, I think, has gotten a little away from me as far as like enjoying the game for its own sake. But the but yeah, I still enjoy playing. What's the aim with Malygos? The aim with Malygos is to aim my damage dealing spells at my opponent and watch as they explode with great glee. I am your father? Oh, okay, it's Dad, actually. Hi, Dad. Ow. That hurt my feelings. I hate that I don't have Kazakis to turn all these Murlocs into a sheep. But there we are. I assume Titans are Azeroth gods. They are and they aren't. Like, they're not all powerful. They can be killed. And part of the reason why Sargeras went so crazy is because he was in charge of keeping what would become the Burning Legion in the void, and he was pushing back the demons for so long that the inevitability of his task drove him nuts. What's in the void is more powerful than a Titan, I guess is my point. You know, that could all have changed by now. Like, I never know. Oh man, those were not good hits. But I never know what continuity has been retconned or not. So I can't tell you for sure. But supposedly, what we know in Hearthstone as a Void Lord is not a Void Lord. That's just a minion. That's like a Void Walker that's stronger than other Void Walkers, right? That's just called Void Lord for some reason. But there's an actual type of thing called Void Lords in World of Warcraft, and supposedly, if one ever actually got in to the Warcraft universe, it's just Jover. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Literally nothing you can do about it. So that's why they had Sargeras charged with keeping stuff back, because you need to like not let them have a foothold, because if they got in, it's done. Why play Dark Bargain over Siphon Soul? In general, I think just because talking. I think the idea, like, if I was going to make an excuse for myself, it would be, eventually I'm going to draw this Cho'Gall, and I want to have played stuff so that, like, my Cho'Gall will get me stuff to play. Is Martian talking to himself? He is. Yes. Okay. Any risk takers? What got discarded? Well, we won't know. So we know that there's a Draxus in here that costs nothing. We didn't have a Taunter though, right? Reno's in here. All right, cool. This is gonna be sick. I didn't want to risk it. It was gonna discard Cho'Gall every time. I don't believe you. All right, chat. Come on. So anyways, I'll do this. I'm not gonna tap, am I? I don't think so. I'd rather have a 6/6. But yeah, I'll play this. Probably should have played that last. I think that's what a smart Marshy would have done. Unfortunately, we're dealing with me. Oh my goodness, this actually is pretty bad. I messed it up. The armor is messing me up here because I wanted to play my Molten Giant. Right. Good hit. Yeah, whatever. Oh, it still does cost health. Interesting. It still messed up my Molten Giant to do it in that order. But I was thinking like I'd be at 30 instead of 35. Is that how that's supposed to work? It ignores your armor? I guess that's how it's supposed to work. It just doesn't come up a lot. I'm pretty sure you gain health playing Draxus first, then playing it last. Gain more health playing it first than playing it last? Really? No, right? Yeah. Anyways, we won. Because if you Reno and then play Draxus... Oh, I was never going to play Draxus after Reno. I was never going to play Draxus after Reno. I just wanted to play it... I wanted to play the Silverware Golem first before the Draxus. Like, in the end, I could have still done it, right? Because I didn't realize it wasn't going to take away my armor. That's the part I was flipping out over. So I could have gone Silverware Golem and then Darkshire and still played the Molten Giant for free and played the Infernal and then played Reno last. But that's risky, right? Because the Darkshire might discard the Reno. So I think it ended up being all fine, huh? Like, it ended up being a fine play. It's just like, not because I meant it to be a fine play, it just ended up that way. You missed Deathrattle? Yeah. Deathrattle has kind of always been awkward. I think it was pretty good right up front. Because, like, the good Deathrattles were really fast. But then they just stopped being, like, cheap. And having the Undertaker as a payoff for early Hearthstone was a big reason why they worked so well, but... yeah. I'm trying to think about how did Sylvanas survive as a good card in Ironbeak Owl Hearthstone, but really the only decks that were really running Ironbeak Owl were Handlock, and maybe Zoolock would run one as a splash. Druid had Whatcha Keeper. There's a lot of silence in early Hearthstone. Huh. I think also, like, board clears weren't as good, right? So just silencing something wasn't as strong as it would be today. Like, your healing was worse and your board clears were worse. So if all you did was silence Sylvanas, then the 5/5 is still there beating you down, right? So Is this the perfect hand to toss? Hey, Lamp. Ooh, look at my Wombo, chat. I was a little like, when I first started playing this deck, or like putting this deck together, I was thinking like, these discards are gonna go wild and discard my important stuff. But then we look at last game, and discarding my important stuff was really important. So maybe I'm excited to potentially hit this Reno Jackson with my Darkshire Librarian here. Rude! I still do it right. So rude. How dare you? The return to Angora will bring the new innovative keyword Quest 2, the sequel to Quests. Alright. That makes sense. I think that's literally true. It's exactly as true as it is.
Job's done.
You know, Mountain Giant and discard stuff is kind of a non-bow, isn't it? Bit of a non-bow. It's gonna like almost work out here just fine. But it's kind of funny that like I have my life tap and my Mountain Giant package, and then completely just you know, like that wants me to have a big hand, and then discarding all this discard stuff removes my hand, right? So it's a little wacky. Also, I really want to do this. And there's a high potential for me to die if I don't next turn, because this is Inner Fire, isn't it? Maybe? Hard to say for sure. Wow. I still believe that I'll be able to cast this Mountain Giant. Rude. Remember when I used to have a Shadow Bolt in my hand? Good times, good times. It's like exactly a Siphon Soul. It's always the next card, it's fine. Unlucky. Oh, this works though.
This might stay.
I could have just traded, but I also want to draw the cards, so we Mortal Coil. I am less confident that this is Inner Fire now. This is probably some kind of funny Reno Priest. Like, this is definitely giving me Reno Priest vibes, right? It would run all this stuff. Except for Psychic Conjurer, which didn't actually exist at the time. This is in the core set? Is it also in the Legacy set? Interesting. I don't think that... I feel like this shouldn't be there. Maybe they'll play 2 more minions and I can steal that Sludge Belcher with MCT. Maybe. If you discarded an Echo card and get it back with Cho'Gall, would all of them be health or just one? An Echo. Oh, I see what you're saying. Only the one you cast would be a health. Pretty sure. But yeah, I don't know. Would that be infinite? You know, as long as you had the health, could you recast it? It's pretty funny. Which is pretty funny if it works that way. Oh my, play one more. No. Brutal for the Marshy fans. Did I just do this? Seems good. I feel like just playing Jiraxxus on curve is always good. Unless, you know, it's not good. Where is your Raza? I completely overlooked the fact that my opponent, I'm so used to this in Wild. I'm so used to this in Wild, I completely overlooked the fact that my opponent had this hero power. That's funny. They're running, back in my day, we used to have to play a card in our deck to get Shadow hero power. So obviously I want to mind control tech that. Soulfire got discarded, didn't it? Okay. I think I'm gonna take it and not use this. And the rest of my turn will be this, or this. I could save this to go with Bran, but meh. Okay. I'll take that. Thank you very much. You wish Shadow Form cost 1. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if it cost 1, but really what I want it to do is I want it to still upgrade if you already are in Shadow Form, right? Like, is a 2 mana, and what's the fire one called? I forget. The mage one. 2 mana, gosh, what is it called? I can't believe I've forgotten. But yeah, the mage has like increase your hero power's damage by 1 as a 1-cost spell that stacks for how many times you do it, right? Original Shadow Form only increases the damage by 1 once, you know. Wildfire, yeah. So is a 2 mana Wildfire that you can only use a single time, is that really too much? Martian, hey, I'm back. Been away a minute. What's the twist format this time around? This is Twist Wonders. Just like a year and a half ago. Or whenever it was. Let me see Bran. Oh yeah. It's kind of sad that Reno Priest didn't really come together because of this card, because I think this card is actually very good. I could swing, play my Molten Giant. And Reno's discarded again, right? That seems good. Whee! This is really good, actually. Oh wait, no, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. All right, unlucky. But yeah, I mean, it's still fine after. But yeah, I couldn't play my Reno if I played that first. That wouldn't have been good. And we'll do this. You know, Cho'Gall's kind of spicy. Cho'Gall's a little spicy, chat. I'm into it. This is working out pretty well. $10 armor, draw 3 cards. Well, my opponent is at 1,000,000,000,000 health. Is Cho'Gall Dr. 8? I guess so. Luckily for me, I have a bunch of burst damage. It's gonna work the way that I think it's going to. So I do this. And yep, that's enough. That's enough. I'm also like, I put the Malagos package in on a whim towards the end of putting this deck together, and I think it actually works pretty well, right? It's pretty good. It's working as intended. Koibito. Alright, my opponent is a warrior. I feel like these two are really good together if I get a discard card. I also feel like that's kind of hopeful. Maybe I keep just... I don't even love Mistress on the draw. Do I keep this? Do I keep this? Not that. I'll keep Silver Golem. I might have missed it, Martian, but did you ever do a reaction vid for Kibler's State of Hearthstone vid? I haven't even watched it. Haven't even watched it. I think I have like a sense of his complaints already. And like, I don't know. I have a sense that I don't know. I have weird feelings over, like, I'm already frustrated enough on my own with how like certain aspects of Hearthstone have played out that like I don't really want to watch a video of someone talking about how annoyed they are at Hearthstone, right? Which is weird because like I'm sitting here like I didn't even mean to be so complainy today. Like I don't feel especially complainy. But I've realized, like, talking it out now, I've said a lot of negative things so far this stream. But chat, I don't want to coin Mortal Coil. Dare I risk this? I dare. It literally always works out, chat. Oh, come on. Okay, fine. Do I save my coin or do I tap? Probably should have just tapped and saved Mortal Coil for next turn. I think that's what a good player would have done. I don't know. But yeah, so I don't really want to seek out like content where the whole point is like these are all my issues with Hearthstone, just because like I don't know. But like also part of me feels like it's gonna be a really weird thing for me to say, but I'm kind of over influencer influence as far as like game balance goes. Like I realize I'm again, you know, like there's a bit of hypocrisy attached to that, being an influencer myself, but like, oh thank goodness, well, opponent get wrecked. Have you tried not getting wrecked? Come on chat, how skillful was that? Come on. Am I the most talented one? So anyways, like all that, like that's just me trying to explain why I'm having a weird lack of interest in hearing Kibler's opinion, I guess. Is like I'm not like invested in the same way I used to be, and I'm like disillusioned with things in certain ways, and you know, why have a cohesive statement when I can sit here jarbling about stuff for extended periods of time. Oh wow, Pirate Warrior snooze. This is based Pirate Warrior. What are you talking about, snooze? This Pirate Warrior is based on a true story, alright? It's the cool one. Well, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this. And then I'm going to discard Silver Golem literally every time. Oh, I'm not mad about that. I'm actually thinking that Bran is kind of duty in this. It's fine, right? Like double Kazakis potions is good. You know, curving it into this or playing it alongside this could be good. Do you get to pick twice, or does it steal the same one twice? Because that's actually worse with Bran than it used to be, isn't it? Huh.
I'll find it.
But Martian, Bran is the most busted card ever. It is. It's the most busted card that isn't one of the others. Yeah, I mean, I get you, and I think that's really indicative of how the community feels too. There's a lot of fatigue and probably driving people away to just sigh rather than try to figure out how to make things better. Word. Word. I'll miss you, Molten Giant. You showed up at the wrong time. That seems good. I feel like I could be a little bit more aggressive here. But I don't have like an aggressive thing to play, right? This is the most aggressive play. So I guess like if I was gonna be like, I'm the aggressor now, what I would do is ignore the ship's cannon and go face. And there we are. Molten Giant is gonna be so funny off of Cho'Gall. Yeah, I guess, huh? I feel like my opponent might concede here. So we may never know. Should I just play Cho'Gall? I've done every discard card. Well, I haven't actually. I've discarded 2 things, right? Are they worth it? It's Molten Giant and Hellfire. Yeah, I don't want to get those back.
I'm wasting time.
I don't know. How about this? How about this, chat? Wow. That seems pretty good. That seems pretty good, chat. I'm not gonna lie. MCT triggers twice only if your opponent still has 4 minions after you stole the first. Are you thinking of old MCT? Because old MCT stole a random minion, so it didn't require you to pick one. I think this one tries to steal the same minion twice when you play it with Bran. That's my big Marshy theory. This is bullying? Well, I'm a bully, so what can I say other than here's this. Yay! But Cho'Gall ended up being much cuter. Well, obviously we didn't play in this game, but like I was expecting Cho'Gall to be like something I have to force to maybe get 1 game with just for the sake of being able to put him in my thumbnail, but like there were a couple games there where he was actually pretty good.